Debbie, the researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best. So working with a lot of athletes, and especially like the junior athletes, when you work with them, they have a lot of time, they have more, people are taking them places and being taken care of, but then they sort of hit adulthood, and now they're balancing some probably more complicated things to some extent, whether it's a job or it's bringing money in or it's something like that. And I hear a lot of them talk to me about they just really struggle with having enough time on the range or on the course or whatever that might be to get their training in. And so from my perspective, I just think about not all of your training happens on the course or the range or the field.
Exactly. Right. And so we can make such good use of some of that other time. I mean, it's the same if you get injured. You know, if you have an injury and you're not allowed to get out and do what you normally do, you know, you certainly want to practice it in your mind and go over and over it because it's all programming once again. And so there's so many different scenarios. And the thing is, you can be sitting in a class or, you know, waiting in a line somewhere, and here comes the thoughts of your performance. Not that we want you thinking about it 24/7, but here they come. And so if they're coming in, we might as well make good use of that thought or space in our head and put in how we'd like things to be and how we're going to manage, you know, all types of scenarios and situations that come up for us. And it's such valuable and important training.
And I think about just times when I would even program some of that time. Like for one thing, I remember when I was injured once and you told me your training now is healing.
Yeah.
You know, healing, you have to give space to that.
Yes.
There is a certain amount of energy that goes into healing and you've got to be okay with it. But then, you know, using that time that I would normally have been on the field, I remember having affirmation cards that I could literally program in. I'm stopped at a light, you know, and I'm waiting for the light, which takes X amount of time. I could get through 4 affirmation cards. Or maybe I'm standing in line to get food. I could go through a whole scenario in my head about archery. So it's not even just managing the stuff that comes in. That's a great one. Like, how do I manage that and make it work for me? But maybe even choreographing a little bit of that time to say, I'm always working.
Right. And another one, you mentioned a really good one in terms of, you know, putting in what you would like to have, your self-talk. I mean, a big factor is changing your self-talk on the field or in your performance arena, and you can practice that, you know, while you're standing in line or whatever it happens to be, of how you're talking to yourself. And because it's a habit, and we gotta change it with kind of repetitions of doing it a different way. And you can do that in your off-field time as well.
Well, and I always remember you saying, you know, you're going to get these thoughts that come to your head. You can't control them, but what you do with them, you know, do you choose to hold on to them or do you choose to let them pass through? Do you choose to sort of like change your thinking about them and actually go down that path and say, you know, like one of the things that works for me is, what do I know? So when I'm starting to get that doubt or those kinds of things, especially when I'm not even on the field, you know, what do I know? What I've worked hard. I've done these things. I've put these scenarios in place. I'm doing all of the right things, and I believe.
There you go. That's excellent.